When it comes to self-help, you want to get right to the point. The workbook from author Alicia Puzzany, Emotional Strength Explained, can help you see results quickly instead of overthinking or operating from a naive, unsure, or people-pleasing state where you look for immediate gratification. With the help of this workbook, you can become stronger emotionally. Whether you're embarking on something new or working through things with yourself or others, understanding what makes you, you is the crucial first step in coming out on top. Your emotions don't have to control your life. You can learn a better way. With this workbook, you'll work toward a stronger, more confident, less needy you. It's for adolescents, teenagers, adults, and seniors. This is an easy-to-use workbook. With just a few minutes each day, you can become stronger and feel better. You can use this workbook over and over through various areas and stages of your life. Life isn't easy. When times get tough, we need to dig deep and utilize our emotional strength. Emotional Strength Explained from author Alicia Puzzany. Available in Kindle and paperback on Amazon and the author's website, aliciapuzzany.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And make sure that you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to us on. And if you happen to be listening on YouTube, make sure you like the video. That helps a lot, guys. All right, well, we are in an amazing time right now. And this month is President's Day. And last President's Day is when we had that huge event that was spontaneous at Mar-a-Lago. Over 100,000 people showed up to see President Trump. And it was an amazing, amazing day. And I was there. And here we are. Almost a year later, President Trump has been out of office for over a year. And you would think that this was a bad time for it. And now, obviously, it would be better if Trump were in the White House right now. I'm not saying that of course that would be better, but he's not. But he's coming back in 2024. And the left in the mainstream media and the never-Trumpers in the Republican Party are just in total meltdown mode. And one thing that they've been trying to do for quite some time, unsuccessfully, is to create this division between President Trump and our governor, Ron DeSantis, right? And the thing with this, these never-Trumpers, these enemies of Trump, they always fail. And the reason they fail are numerous, but one of the reasons they fail, they're always running some scheme against Trump. They're always trying to get some false media narrative out there. And they have this fantasy that they think is the personality of Donald Trump. And they believe that Donald Trump is a petty, pathetic, insecure person who's got a lot of ego problems and that he can easily be manipulated. And they still don't get that none of those things are true. He is a very well-together guy. He is a very in-control person. He's a complete gentleman, and his ego is not out of control. And what they've been trying to do is put these false narratives out there that Ron DeSantis has said this, and someone said this about Ron DeSantis, and there's a poll showing that DeSantis would beat Trump in Florida, and all these things, thinking it would trigger Trump. And with the big fear that the Democrats and the never-Trumpers in the Republican Party have is Donald Trump running for president in 2024 with Ron DeSantis as his running mate. And they're trying to split the MAGA movement up. Now, Ron DeSantis today here in Florida spoke about this. So I'm going to play the clip in just a bit. But Ron DeSantis is probably the smartest person ever to be governor of any state in this country.
Oh, no doubt.
Isn't he?
The guy is amazing. He always knows the right thing to say. He never flies off the handle.
Never.
He's always got the best comebacks
and
the best responses, and he's extremely intelligent. And he'll say things where I'm like, man, I didn't even think of that or realize that. Like, he's just a really intelligent guy, and he really understands the swamp and these swamp creatures.
And the media, the fake news media.
He gets it. You know what I mean? He gets it.
Well, when Ron DeSantis has a press conference and he's dealing with these fake news media people with their ridiculous questions, he handles them with the skill of a top tier stand-up comic dealing with hecklers in the audience. You know?
No, he's very skilled
and
in
he's
handling
very good.
them.
And they really do fear Trump and DeSantis. And Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis they're like besties. They're very close friends. Ron DeSantis goes to dinner at Mar-a-Lago all the time. They socialize, not for press events. I mean, just like they get together. You know, he comes to town. And Ron DeSantis knows that he's governor of Florida because of Donald Trump. He was not winning. And, you know, I don't think people realize that. People, you know, Ron DeSantis is the greatest governor of any state ever. And I can tell you that because he's my governor. And I've seen what he's done during the COVID lockdowns and everything, which we didn't have in Florida. And he's just brilliant. It's amazing. He saved Florida. But he was running for governor and he was not winning. And the reason he wasn't winning is we really didn't know who he was. I mean, I knew of him. I knew Ron DeSantis was a Republican congressman here in Florida. I saw him on some committee hearings a couple times on TV. And I thought, okay, I like this guy. But we didn't know too much about him. And he was running against this Andrew Gillum character Andrew Gillum and the Democrats thought he was going to be the next Obama. Andrew Gillum was being groomed to be president of the United States, not just governor of Florida.
Yeah.
And he was doing very well in the polls. And then all of a sudden, President Trump endorsed Ron DeSantis, and that was it. I mean, it was a landslide victory.
And thank goodness he did, because let me tell you, that would have been we would have been like California, maybe worse. I mean, they just said on Twitter that the New York governor, she's more radical than Cuomo, that she's reinstating the mask mandates for schools. And it is insane.
She's taking us back to 2020 lockdown times in New York.
It is insane that they're making these kids wear masks. And they just had a picture of Stacey Abrams came out. It was all over Twitter and stuff where it was really sickening. She has a picture of her in a classroom full of kids. They're all like 6 years old, 7 years old, all masked. And she's sitting right in the middle, no mask, with a big stupid grin on her face.
Wow.
And everybody's been ripping her for that. And it just shows you that these liberals love passing rules that they don't have to adhere to.
That's right.
Because it's like, let them eat cake. They're Marie Antoinette in the castle, and we're just the serfs working the fields.
Well,
it's nuts.
So this fake feud between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, I've known it was fake news, but they keep floating it. So Governor DeSantis spoke about this.
They got nothing else to cling to, honey.
Well,
they're clinging.
Yeah,
they're desperate.
Well, they're losing.
Yeah.
So Ron DeSantis spoke on this today, and I thought I'd play this for you guys. This is Governor Ron DeSantis, the great governor of our state. He's the governor of Free Florida. Ron DeSantis is Free Florida. Listen.
Donald Trump's a friend of mine. He is proud when people do well. And it's not just me, but obviously he's a Florida resident and he appreciates the job that we've done. He's told me that many times, not only with helping with the election, but just how we've governed the state. And I think he looks around the country. He wants to see Republicans doing well. And I think when media is trying to act like he's upset at me for doing well, I think that's total bunk. I think they're just making it up. And I think he's somebody that wants to see, not just Republicans do well, but people that are actually going to stand and fight do well across the board. Obviously, Florida is an important state. They're the third largest state in the country. And really, us and Texas are the two biggest states, that have sizable Republican footprints. And so we're proud of that, and we're going to keep it going.
Yeah. And Ron DeSantis, like President Trump, does not have an ego issue, and he doesn't let these fake news stories in the media trigger him. And, and I imagine it's a little frustrating for Governor DeSantis, because if Trump were in the White House right now, Ron DeSantis would be the nominee for president next time.
For sure.
And would be president in 2024. But it's not his time. It's 2028. And I do think there's a very good chance he will be President Trump's running mate.
That is the dream. I can't imagine.
Dream ticket.
As I've said, I don't think DeSantis is vice president material. He's a leader through and through. I don't think he would be second fiddle to anybody, even Trump. I could be wrong. That is the dream team.
Well, it's different, Kathy.
But I know what you're saying. It would ease him right into it.
He's guaranteed the nomination in 2028.
He doesn't need that to guarantee that.
Well, here's the thing. Ron DeSantis.
So I don't know if it would be politically. I think he's going to be governor another 4 years and then start running and campaigning after that's over with.
Listen, Ron DeSantis, he's running for re-election for governor, which he's going to win.
Right.
And there's term limits for governor in Florida. It's 2 terms, so he has 1 more term. When his second term is over, okay, he will have, if he doesn't become vice president, okay, with Donald Trump in 2024, he'll have 2 years of not being in office until the next election.
To campaign.
Well, if he goes in,
focus solely on that.
Well, let's hope not. Now, I want to tell everyone, right before the show, Kathy was asking me what color MyPillow towels I want. She was going to order another set of the MyPillow towels because the deal is so incredible with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. So Mike Lindell has a brand new updated MyPillow.com website. So you want to go there and check it out. But when you go to MyPillow.com, scroll down on the right side of the screen until you see Mike Lindell holding the American flag. Click that photograph of Mike Lindell holding the American flag, and there's incredible flash and overstock sales with our promo code Kane. The MyPillow towel set normally is $109.99. With our promo code Kane at checkout, you got to click the Mike Lindell with the American flag. With our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, save over 70%, not $109.99, just $29.99. This is the lowest price ever on the MyPillow towels, $29.99 in whatever color you would like. I don't think we're going to see this low price for a long, long time, if ever again.
They got some good deals.
Yeah. And remember, it's normally $109.99, just $29.99, over 70% off with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And also in that section, you will see the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, which is what we sleep on every night. It's the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell makes, 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout. And now, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane.
I wanted to say one more thing about Stacey Abrams. It's, in the Fox News, I just put in the Facebook group and tweeted it. Not only it just came out, I tell you, this is why she should never be running anything, because she's a moron. There's a picture of her not only with the kids, right? She's the only one without a mask in a room full of little kids. Now there's another picture of her standing with a bunch of adults, like 8 adults. All of them are masked except for her. What is she thinking? Doesn't she realize standing there, this is not a good photo op? Plus her people before these pictures came out, told everybody she was wearing a mask. So, shocker, they lie. But when she is standing there doing pictures and you're with 8 adults and everybody's wearing a mask. I'll show you the picture. And she's not wearing a mask. Doesn't it occur to her that this is a stupid thing? She's right in the middle.
Okay.
I mean, doesn't it occur to her that this is probably not? This shows you how dumb she is.
I know exactly what this is about. Now,
oh my goodness gracious.
With the kids in the classroom, it was just like this. The kids were masked and she wasn't. And it came out that Stacey Abrams made them mask up so that she could be maskless in front of all of them.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Now this is
the Democratic Party, guys.
And Stacey Abrams was even criticized on The View about not having the mask on with the kids.
That must have been painful.
Which I didn't quite understand, because the ladies of The View were criticizing Stacey Abrams for not wearing a mask, and none of the ladies of The View, who should probably be anyway before COVID, they were not wearing masks.
Yes.
Now, so there's another photograph of her doing it. This is what would be my take on Stacey Abrams, okay? Stacey Abrams is not going to let anybody tell her what to do. So since she was widely criticized for not wearing a mask with the children in the classroom, she's going to go around and take pictures with people all the time without a mask.
This is the same day.
Same day?
Same day. That picture was taken at the same school.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Same day. So there's 2 events where she posed for pictures without a mask, where everybody else in the frame was wearing a mask.
And
her people told everybody she was wearing one, which they lied.
In this photograph with the adults, she's in the middle, but she's behind them, like breathing towards them.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's like breathing on their necks.
Doesn't she realize that, I mean, all these other politicians, she's not a politician, but all these other people get ripped for their hypocrisy. It just had Garcetti and Newsom at the game, Newsom again multiple times, AOC in Miami.
Yeah.
Doesn't she stand there and think this is how stupid she is, and think to herself, gee, maybe this is not such a good photo op. I mean, I'm standing here, everybody's masked. I'm a Democrat. I push mask mandates. and I'm not wearing one. Wait a minute, let me put my mask on. It doesn't even occur to her that this is a bad idea. That shows you how out of touch and stupid she is. I hate to say that, but I'm sorry. And then to make an entire classroom of kids wear a mask as if they're a danger to her. I mean, what the hell does that say? I mean, people actually voted for this woman. She goes in a classroom and tells the kids, you have to mask up. I feel so sorry for these kids. I got to tell you, we were talking about it the other day. If our daughter, thank God she's almost 23 and done with that crap, but if our daughter was like in elementary school or even high school, and she was forced to do this kind of stuff and wear a mask, I would say to you, Brian, whatever we have to do, let's put her in private school or homeschool her or whatever we have to do, because this to me is like paramount to child abuse. They're extending this way too long. And how do these kids handle socializing and talking and getting to know each other when they can't even see each other's faces? Well, I mean, it seems like this is going to cause a lot of stress.
Well, with Stacey Abrams, Stacey Abrams went to that school. Since she shut down my first point, I got to have a new theory. My first theory was because they were taken the same day. Stacey Abrams went to the school for one reason and one reason only: photo ops. And what goes the photo op? And people can't see your face.
That's probably that's probably where her head was at. She's just, dumb.
I don't know how many people this has happened to, but there's a YouTuber that I'm a big fan of, Adam the Woo. Some of you may know Adam the Woo. And I ran into Adam the Woo the first day that Walt Disney World reopened after the shutdown from the pandemic. And I took a picture with him, but they were requiring masks. And and I'm a big, huge fan of Adam the Woo. And I was so excited to meet him. And I got a picture with him, but we're both wearing masks. It could be anybody under that mask. It could just be some other guy I'm saying is Adam the Woo. And I was very disappointed. And Stacey Abrams, the photo op's no good if they can't see your face.
Well, yeah, and she's probably has that typical liberal arrogance. And you're right, her thinking is probably, well, they would want me to have my mask off so people can see that they're with me.
Yeah.
And that's probably
nobody cares that they're with
where her head would be at, because she's a Democrat and they love themselves. Yeah. So that's her logic. Well, I don't need to wear a mask because people are going to want to know that I'm here.
Exactly.
So that's probably some of her thinking.
Listen, we're going to take a quick break, all right? And when we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be back right after this.
The search for the most dangerous book in the world is about to begin. From authors Wayne E. Haley and Sean P. Haley comes An Apology to Lucifer, now available for sale at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Apple Books, and on the book's official website, anapologytolucifer.com. In An Apology to Lucifer, Father Thomas Morelli thought he knew the story behind Lucifer's fall from heaven. However, upon making the acquaintance of renowned book authenticator Lorenzo Pellegrini and being invited to stay in the opulent Venice villa belonging to Pellegrini's master, Thomas discovers he has only heard part of the story. In Boston, psychoanalyst, best-selling author, and outspoken atheist David Wright has been tasked to handle the funeral arrangements of his dear friend, Albert Kennedy. What could have driven this controversial exorcist to take his own life? The answer, it seems, is contained in a book that isn't supposed to exist. Joining forces, Lorenza, David, and Thomas must race against time to prevent an ancient battle from reigniting. If you enjoyed The Da Vinci Code, you will love this book, An Apology to Lucifer. The most anticipated supernatural thriller of 2022 is now available at BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon, Apple Books, and on the book's official website, anapologytolucifer.com. Order your copy right now. From author Martin Armitage comes a book that you will want to add to your must-read list, Switching Gears, available on Amazon. When author Martin Armitage decided to hike the entire 273-mile length of the Long Trail, stretching from the Canadian border in the north all the way to the southern end of the state of Vermont, he never guessed that it would forever change the way he looked at his life. Just a few short days into the walk and forced to call a halt as an injury prevented him from continuing, he was filled with anger and a sense of failure and frustration. But what seemed like a flop on the surface was soon transformed into something else, as Martin came to recognize his own overconfidence and arrogance had played a significant part in his failure, and galvanized himself to return to the trail with a very different attitude. In Switching Gears, author Martin Armitage tells the story of how a sudden epiphany he experienced about Mother Nature led to a new respect for the great outdoors, and how that change helped him to rediscover the meaning of his own life and what was really important in it. In essence, he came to understand that whether weather in life, or hiking a trail, enjoying the journey is the most important part of it, and not the final destination. This book is perfect for book clubs. Order your copy right now. Switching Gears from author Martin Armitage. Available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. Have you heard of bismuth? It's number 83 on the periodic table, and it does some really cool things. Bismuth is a metal that forms unique geometric shapes and colors on its own once it comes out of its liquid state. The Etsy shop, All Bismuth LLC, on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/All Bismuth LLC takes the crystal formations and makes art pieces, jewelry, and a lot more. All the items are made out of bismuth and are one-of-a-kind items that can never be duplicated. Perfect for your home, your office, and they make great gifts too. Their most popular items are the individual crystal pendants and the large geodes. If you love Mother Earth and are into natural elements, this is the shop for you. When you're searching for truly unique jewelry and crystals, visit All Bismuth LLC on Etsy.com. Etsy.com/shop/All Bismuth LLC. View their inventory. You will be impressed. And make sure to check them out on social media, on Twitter, Gab, Gitter, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. They're on TikTok too. Just search All Bismuth. That's all one word. All Bismuth LLC on Etsy.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. You know, these protests in Canada, it's being reported today nationwide in Canada. Okay, it's not just in Ottawa. It's spreading throughout the entire country.
Trudeau really is just screwing this up.
And it's spreading to the United States. So Trudeau spoke out today. I'll play one clip of him. There are a couple, but I'm only going to play one. This entitled snob who's never done a day's work in his life.
No.
This is him talking about the truckers.
Individuals are trying to blockade our economy, our democracy, and our fellow citizens' daily lives. It has to stop.
Yeah, how dare they question us and have political protests?
They got a real problem with this guy in Canada. This is a guy who is not going to negotiate with them, and he's not going to bend at all. The more they challenge him, the tighter he's going to grip onto this, and the more he's going to punish them for having the audacity to challenge him. And that's how liberals are.
Yep.
When you challenge them they take it as a personal humiliation when you challenge them publicly. And their reaction is not to say, okay, you're unhappy, let's sit down and talk about it. No, their reaction is, screw you.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Right.
I'm the boss, and you can go F yourself.
Exactly.
That's what, and he's going to make it worse for these guys.
Well, Trudeau...
He sees them as an enemy.
Trudeau has never heard the word no. He's always had everything handed to him. His father was prime minister. And he's obviously a snob who doesn't respect working people. And that's just the way it is.
Well, that's for sure.
And
let me tell you,
he's
Canada,
not going to bend.
Canada has a lot of blue-collar people. A lot. It's a huge part. Just like here, it's a huge part of their economy is blue-collar people. And I think the reason a lot of that is, this is just from my own personal experience, is it's a little bit kind of like England over there in a way as far as society goes. You have, I wouldn't say totally the haves and the have-nots, but there's definitely more of a division economically, I would think, overall in that country. And you know what I mean? There's not as much of a gray area. It's like you have the blue collar middle class, and then you have the really, well-educated, very rich. That's just how I always saw it growing up, visiting there a lot. I could be wrong. Maybe it's different now, but they have a huge blue collar population. And those people are the backbone of the country. Yeah. I'm sorry. These truckers. Now, if they ever go on strike, which I hope they don't, because it would really hurt the country, he has a serious problem there, and they could do that. They're unionized, I'm sure.
If the truckers go on strike in any country, it's a big impact on the economy, and
huge.
Liberals, Labour Party in Canada and UK, they love unions, and it's okay for unions to strike, but when it's somebody who's striking that's not part of their base, like working people, they think it's criminal. And today at the White House press briefing with Jen Psaki, a reporter asked Jen Psaki about the Freedom Truckers in Canada. Listen.
Okay, and then this situation on the Canadian border in Ottawa, the truckers' protest, there does seem to be evidence that these truckers are getting support from conservative forces or right-wing forces in the U.S.
Okay. The reporter said there's evidence, there's word that the truckers are getting support from conservative forces in the U.S.
Forces.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of ominous.
So what? Democrats, liberals believe that conservatives have no right to protest.
No, exactly.
No right to fund protest.
No right to live, basically.
And if a conservative is protesting or supporting a protest, they're like a terrorist.
They've convinced themselves that we're dangerous. And this was before January 6th. They've always felt this way. They've convinced themselves and they're like afraid of us. And that's how Trudeau is approaching these truckers, with fear. And he sees them as a danger. He labeled them violent and bigoted immediately. Yeah. Meanwhile, this is the guy who runs around in blackface and dances like he's a member, remember he did that stupid dance when he was in India wearing the clothes?
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, he is.
He appropriates everybody's culture. But this guy's going around, he's labeling them racist and violent, which is not true, but that's how he handles them. And I think they have a real problem with this guy, and this is going to become a pissing contest between these two people because he's not going to give. He's not going to bend at all. Well, and the more they try to get him to change things, the more he's going to double down. That's what they do.
What's going to happen is these protests are starting to spread into the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And this is going to become
in solidarity
a real cross the border kind of thing. And it kind of, what the truckers are doing in Canada is absolutely amazing. And it reminds me of the days at the end of the Soviet Union, when the Soviet Union had not collapsed yet, but it was getting close. And when they had those strikes in Poland, which was a Soviet satellite state behind the Iron Curtain. Remember, Lech Walesa was a Labor Party guy, and they went on strike in Soviet-controlled Poland. That's a lot of like I see what's going on in Canada with the truckers, and they're not going to bend, and the other side is not going to bend. And how this gets resolved, I don't know. I saw an interview. Let me play this for you. This is a Canadian veteran who's in Ottawa at the scene with the Freedom Truckers.
I didn't serve this country to be bullied by a prime minister that ran away like a chicken. Who runs away from their people?
Exactly.
It's insane. If I was in the army right now, I'd be contemplating on leaving just because our leadership, our military, our country will have no credibility because of him. None whatsoever. And that's sad because Canada is known across the world for their credibility of their military and their people.
And I'll tell you another thing about Canada. Canada is like it's a peaceful place. Canada does, I obviously I'm not I don't know the history of Canada. In America, they don't really teach it. We don't really learn anything about Canada. But what's going on in Canada right now with these truckers, I do believe is the largest protest of any kind that's ever taken place in Canada.
Yeah, I'll ask my mom about that. I forgot to ask her about that because she did grow up learning Canadian history. We could ask Kamala, too. She knows about Canadian history. Yeah. But these guys are tough. They're brave. And I really, really would like Trump to go up there and visit. I read some articles today that now, I don't know if this is true or not, but they put out in the news that they were blocking a major highway between Detroit and Canada. And Toronto, I guess. Toronto's kind of right near the border.
The bridge, yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, or if they were exaggerating it to make them look bad, but they have their trucks parked everywhere. And I don't know how they're making money, though. I guess that's why people were raising money on GoFundMe. But I guess they kind of are on strike in a way, because if their trucks are sitting in the city and they're not moving, then people are not getting their goods. And the people seem to be supporting them. But, I don't want to see truckers not deliver their stuff, because people need food and medical supplies. It's important. Babies need diapers and all this stuff. But I understand what they're going through. But they're dealing with an infant They're trying to negotiate with somebody who's mentally 15 years old and who is an egomaniac, and he is not going to allow. He's like a little Napoleon. He is not going to allow them to get the better of him. If he was a real man, okay, and what he did is he labeled them, like I said, violent and racist right off the bat, which is not true. But if he was a real leader and a real man, you know, and this is what Donald Trump would do, he would sit down with them and invite them to Parliament or whatever the hell, or his office, and with their representatives. And he would sit down with them and say, let's work out something. Let's come to a compromise. I don't want to see you guys unhappy. We depend on you. We rely on you. You're important to the economy. What can I do to help you along? Let's negotiate. But no, he's not going to do that. He's not capable. But that's what leaders should do.
And today, a city council member, a lady in Ottawa, she said that the Canadian truckers are committing treason.
Crazy.
And are taking part in an insurrection.
Oh, here you go.
There you go.
This is what the liberals love to do. They love to label anybody that challenges them, anybody that doesn't agree with them. Now this is the new thing. You're an insurrectionist. That's insanity.
Now,
that's just great. That's just stupid.
Now, we're not watching the Olympics, and I know you guys are probably not watching the Olympics either. But there are some things we got to follow with the Olympics. There are 3 that I know of American kids that are playing for Team China. Mm-hmm. I call them defectors. One of them is Eileen Gu. Her mother is from China, immigrated to the United States. Her father is born and raised in the United States. She was born in California and learned to ski in Colorado. And she's on Team China. I consider her to be a defector. She has won a gold medal for China. She's an American girl who's won a gold medal for China. She was asked by reporters at a press conference today if she relinquished her U.S. citizenship to compete for China, and she would not answer the question. But now this is just my opinion, and you guys can let us know in the comments what you think about this. When you are an American and you go and play for the Olympic team of another country, like she's doing, especially one that's really an enemy of the United States, China, Red China, Communist China, I think that's a treasonous act. I think that her citizenship should be stripped of her. And I'm afraid when the Olympics
this has happened before, haven't American citizens competed? I think they have I think there's been athletes who were born in other countries and then became American citizens would compete for their.
No.
I think I've seen that before.
There have been sometimes there are people from other countries who come to America because you make money in professional sports here. They're still citizens of their other country. Like I was talking to you the other day. We've had hockey players that play on American teams go play hockey on the Canadian Olympic team, but they're Canadian citizens. This is different. This is different.
I thought there have been some Americans that have competed for where they were born.
This girl was born in California,
right? No, I'm just saying.
There's one guy. We got one American guy, white guy, playing on the Chinese hockey team. So these are people that were born in America, and I consider it to be just strangely. It's just strange. It's treason. And this girl, Elaine Gu, with her gold medal. It's very likely that when the Olympics are over, she'll return to America and do the talk show circuit with her gold medal for China. That to me
she did win a gold.
She won a gold today for China.
Wow.
Yeah, Olympic skier for Team China. Girl born in California, an American citizen. It's disgusting.
I thought she screwed up. I thought she fell.
That was another girl. That was another defector. We have several defectors. I think there's 3. 2 girls and a guy.
Well, I think they need to stop having the Olympics in China for sure. They're not feeding the athletes, and we talked about that yesterday. There's a big problem, human rights abuses and all this jazz. Of course, Nancy Pelosi doesn't want them talking about it. She doesn't want to upset them.
Yeah.
I just wanted to read this real quick. This just came up from the New York Post. Outraged Disney shareholders want CEO Bob Chapek voted out, saying the magic is gone. A group of Disney fans are fuming over soaring ticket prices and long lines at the theme parks. So, Brian and I have been going to Disney a long time. I know this is not our Disney podcast, but it's still interesting to me. And I don't know if you guys have been to Disney lately, any of you, but the lines are very long. Everything's super expensive now. It's definitely not the way it used to be. But anyway, they're trying to sign a petition on change.org to get, they can vote for somebody to be on the board of directors or something. I don't know, try to get him off and get him to step down. He just got like a $30 million bonus. He doesn't care.
The problem with Disney is that the people that run it are too woke.
That's for sure.
And people that go to Walt Disney World, which we do, we're in Florida. How can you not go to Walt Disney World? It's, it's 2.5 hours from the house, 3 hours if there's lots of traffic. But so we've been there more than probably anybody else listening to this program. They're very woke, and the people that are Disney fans are like patriotic American people. They're not liberal wokesters.
The biggest problem is him, though. He is all about the money, and he is the one who's making these decisions that are nickel and diming everybody and taking away experiences. So you're paying more money for less experience. You're being charged for everything now. We just read an article a month or so ago where they're lessening the food portions, but they increase the prices of the food, but they're giving you less food anyway.
Now,
I just thought that was
I want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters for your support of the program. It does help us a lot, and it does mean a lot, and it's greatly appreciated. We're in the 10th year of the Brian Craig Show podcast, and you Patreon supporters have made that possible, and it's very much appreciated. And if you would like to become a Patreon supporter, there is a link in the description of this and every episode, as well as a direct link on my website, briancraigshow.com. And our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you on each and every episode. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, Gary, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Jacqueline, Rick, Rich, and Nick. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support.
There's a podcast that you will want to add to your playlist, Warriors for Christ. That's the number 4. Warriors for Christ is a Christian podcast providing biblical teaching without the doctrines of man. In other words, they like to let the Bible explain itself. The format includes non-denominational readings and teachings from the Bible. They also have interviews and whatever the Lord puts on their hearts to present. Life in this world can be very stressful and filled with anxieties. Warriors for Christ will give you the biblical information you need to help deal with all life has to bring. Warriors for Christ confronts many false doctrines which are pervasive in this age and what some call the church in a box. And they also offer a full gospel ministry. Find Warriors for Christ on Podomatic, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Player FM, Stitcher, Deezer, Amazon Podcast, and Spotify. Warriors for Christ. Share the podcast on all of your social media so your friends can listen to Warriors for Christ. That's the number 4. Add it to your playlist right now. From author Teresa Michelle comes a book that you will want to add to your must-read list. And then I Opened My Eyes, a memoir of how I was able to finally see God. Available on Amazon. Have you ever longed to know God more? Ever wanted to be closer than close to Him? Many times, trials of life make you want to throw in the towel. But just when you feel you cannot go on anymore, that's when He reaches out His hand to pull you to Him. He loves you, and He is the one who really longs to have that relationship. It is at that point you will find Him and all the wonderful things He has for you. And Then I Opened My Eyes is the author's memoir of her life. This book is an eye-opening experience that can change your perspective and turn your eyes in the right direction towards God. Author Teresa Michelle prays for anyone who is feeling low, lonely, and sad. And Then I Opened My Eyes, a memoir of how I was able to finally see God. From author Teresa Michelle is perfect for book clubs and church groups. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Available in Kindle and paperback.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Chaplain Jethro from Flint, Michigan.
Hey, Chaplain Jethro in Michigan. What's up, Chaplain?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Mike Lindell for the great product called My Slippers. That cured my neuropathy in a big way. In 10 minutes after I put them on, it went away. This morning, I woke up with leg cramps, put them on, leg cramps gone.
That's amazing.
I tell you, it's a great product.
Which one do you have? I have the tan fur-lined moccasin My Slippers. Which ones do you have, Chaplain?
I I had the blue ones, and they're fur-lined also.
I've heard from several listeners that the Mike Lindell My Slippers make their neuropathy go away, and there's very little treatment for neuropathy, and people that suffer from it, it's torture, so I appreciate that. All right, Jethro, I appreciate the call, and thanks for the kind words about Mike Lindell's My Slippers and how they help with your neuropathy.
Yes, indeed, they do.
And right now, when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, save 50% off the MyPillow My Slippers. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and use our promo code KANE, KANE, for 50% off the MyPillow My Slippers. That's 50% off, but you've got to use the promo code KANE, KANE.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. And, there's just terrible stories going on today. And this is from the Gateway Pundit. And if you don't go to the Gateway Pundit, you should. And let me tell you,
absolutely. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I never go on the air without going to the Gateway Pundit. It's really my first stop every morning when I wake up, thegatewaypundit.com. And just to give you an idea of how good it is, not just my good word, Facebook, you cannot post on Facebook articles from the Gateway Pundit.
That's why we never put them up there.
Yeah, so you can tweet them, and I do tweet them. But Facebook...
Too much truth.
Yeah, Facebook years ago blocked out where you couldn't post Gateway Pundit articles. That's how good it is. Facebook doesn't like them. Listen to this. This is in the Gateway Pundit, thegatewaypundit.com. As reported earlier, Capitol Hill police, dressed as construction workers, broke into Congressman Troy Neal's office during the November break. So there was nobody there, right? Congressman's gone. The Capitol Police took photos inside the Texas Republican's office. This is like Watergate, but done by the Capitol Police.
Crazy. And it shows you they're doing somebody's bidding, which explains a lot of what happened on January 6th.
These guys didn't just go in the office.
No, they're doing somebody's bidding,
They'll probably say they went rogue, but
they're taking orders.
The Capitol Police took photos inside the Texas Republican's office, then came back 2 days later to harass his staff using the illegal photos they took just days earlier. The Capitol Police were spying on the Republican congressman who spoke out against Pelosi, the January 6th committee, and the shooting death of Ashley Babbitt. But
they were looking for dirt on him.
Yeah, like when they broke into Michael Cohen's office.
Yeah, they were looking for something they could use against him.
Yeah.
Obviously. Something private or something, boy, I tell you, that's how these people are.
Well, it wasn't just the Texas Republican, Congressman Neal's office they were spying on. The Capitol Police also were spying on several more Republican lawmakers.
Wow.
According to Politico, the Capitol Police have been secretly spying on Republican lawmakers since the January 6th protest and riot.
And probably before.
Republican from North Dakota, Kelly Armstrong, said that he is unaware of any members. He said that he is unaware of any members have known about this practice being in place. We knew the Capitol Police did not even interview Lieutenant Mike Byrd before they exonerated him in the death of Ashley Babbitt. Can you imagine the investigators did not interview the cop that fired
a little bit of corruption there.
The Inspector General for the Capitol Police has opened a formal investigation of the matter involving police officers. So they do expect this to be swept under the rug. But anyway, dressed as construction workers. So this is
that sounds criminal to me.
Well, this is
crazy.
This is a very interesting story because the Capitol Police, without anyone there, going into a Republican congressman's office, looking for dirt, fishing for information.
Yeah, who told them to do that? They weren't doing it for themselves.
Well, this is how the Mueller investigation was going, right? They were investigating people searching for a crime as opposed to knowing of a crime and investigating a crime. They were searching for people looking for a crime. That's what they were doing there. And now this other story that they were dressed as construction workers, Capitol Police, investigating. See, the Capitol Police, they obviously have a chief, but the Capitol Police work for the Speaker of the House. So the question is, what did Nancy know and when did she know it? I mean, Nancy Pelosi had to be aware of this.
She's all buddies with these guys. You see all the pictures of them with her, and it makes you wonder when you see the videos from January 6th, the one I saw on Greg Kelly, which was shocking. Right before Ashley Babbitt was shot, you see 2 police officers right there in that hallway, and they just walk away, and they start breaking, the people start breaking in that door, whoever you want to call it, and those cops were right there, and they did absolutely nothing. And Trump just came out and blamed Pelosi for January 6th. He said that he ordered security up to 10,000 troops or soldiers or whatever.
He offered it and she turned it down.
She turned it down.
Yeah.
So, and if they're breaking into people's offices to look for stuff, that's a crime, first of all. But this guy who was there on January 6th, who sat in Nancy Pelosi's office and took a picture, he's in jail. But it's okay for her to go in and break into people's offices and rummage through their stuff.
Yeah.
These people are unfreaking believable. Incredible.
There's no way the Capitol Police did this on their own. They did this under the directive of someone, and there's no way Pelosi is not in on this.
Of course. Everybody knows that.
And, these are elected representatives. They're not criminals. And
it's outrageous.
Well, what's going on here is, and we're going to find this is the beginning of a very deep operation that's probably been going on for a year by the Capitol Police and others in our government.
I think it was before January 6th. They're going on.
Well, they're trying to label Republican MAGA people as domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
And they're doing that by investigating people like these Congress people, Marjorie Taylor Greene and others that they don't like, to try to make MAGA illegal.
I'm sure they've broken into her office too.
I don't know. It would not surprise me. This is the kind of thing where I shouldn't be reading about this on the Gateway Pundit. I should be hearing about it because Fox News alerts are going on and everything is stopping. Now, I'm sure this will make it on, but this is Watergate stuff. And if you remember Watergate, what happened in Watergate is the Republicans sent people in to break into the Democrat National Committee offices to get list of donors and things. They were in there fishing for
this
information.
Is the same thing.
This is worse than the Watergate burglary because they're breaking into offices of sitting United States Congress people. They are using resources of the federal government, federal officers, the Capitol Police to do it. This is worse than Watergate. And you know what? You'll be lucky to see it in your news on television. And if you do, it'll be a punchline. I mean, that's really a frightening story and sounds to me like maybe one of the biggest stories. I'm really thinking about this, and and I'm not hyping this up because I'm not into clickbait and hyping things up. I think this may be the largest. This story right here, just this one about the Capitol Police as construction workers and the breaking into the other this may be the biggest political scandal of our lifetimes.
Well, I think they've just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to find out. I'm trying to look on Twitter here because I retweeted this I started following this congressman that this happened to, and he had a whole thread going explaining everything that happened. And I can't find it, but and I can't remember the guy's name. Does it say the name in there of the guy that I can go to his Twitter feed?
Yeah, I have to go back to the story.
Okay, but anyway, he had a whole thread today explaining everything that happened. I'll have to find it for you before the show tomorrow, and explaining everything, what they did and how and what went down. And he goes into detail. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's criminal, and it makes you wonder.
Well, now I can't even find the story on the Gateway Pundit because his name is in it.
It makes you wonder, what else have the Capitol Police done for Nancy Pelosi or whoever? Have they been rummaging through congresspersons' offices for years? Is this a normal thing? And like I said,
well, there's a couple in. Okay,
they clearly do her bidding. It's like she has her own personal police force. I mean, that's really how she sees it. That they don't work for the people; they work for her. It's like her own personal army.
Well, let me look up,
and they do whatever she says.
Let me look up the House member on Twitter whose office was broken into, Troy, and it's NEHLS, which I'm assuming.
I think I followed him, and he explains it on his Twitter feed.
Well, let's look it up right now. Let's not wait for tomorrow. Hopefully, he has the information there since you hyped it up. Okay. That is not. That's another guy with the same name who's running for sheriff somewhere. All right, we got it. And he does have a thread going through the entire story. All right, Kathy, so let's find out what happened.
Okay. On November, this is
breaking news. This is breaking just as we're talking.
Yeah, this is on Twitter, Rep. Troy Nehls, Nehls, all one word. On November 20th, 2021, Capitol Police entered my office without my knowledge and photographed confidential legislative products protected by the Speech and Debate Clause enshrined in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 6. 2 days later, on Monday, November 22nd, Thanksgiving week, 3 intelligence officers attempted to enter my office while the House was in recess. Upon discovering a member of my staff, special agents dressed like construction workers began to question him as to the contents of a photograph taken illegally 2 days earlier.
That's when they broke into his office and took photos looking for dirt.
Never informed myself or senior level staff of their investigation, and the reasons are clear. They had no authority to photograph my office, let alone investigate myself or members of my staff. So why is the Capitol Police leadership maliciously investigating me in an attempt to destroy me and my character? Maybe it's because I have been a vocal critic of Speaker Pelosi, the January 6th committee, and Capitol Police leadership about their handling of January 6th, the death of Ashley Babbitt, and the subsequent sham investigation. Oh, so now so then now we go into the responses. So that's so he explained the whole thing, what happened.
Well,
there.
I got to tell you something. This is an interesting thing now, because when we think about it, because he referenced there what was in the article about the January 6th investigation. This could have not just Pelosi involved. This could have like Liz Cheney connected to it. This could have the January.
There is so much that goes on that we don't know. Well, I mean, a lot of it's coming out, but man, there's a lot that happens.
This is a developing story, and we will get more on this as time progresses. And let us know in the comments your thoughts on this. I do believe this is what the Capitol Police are doing to these Republicans right now is the largest political scandal of our time. There's no way they did this on their own.
Do the police have regular cops, they have to get a warrant to go to
They're not regular cops.
I know I'm saying, but they have to get a warrant to go into your home or whatever. But if you're in your car, they could search for probable cause. Since their offices are in the Capitol and it's a government building, do the Capitol Police have a right to search through somebody's, obviously not if they had to disguise themselves as construction workers, but some people in the thread were commenting saying, well, you're in the Capitol building, and if they think there's something there, they have a right to go through your office. But if they have to do it in a sneaky way and dress up as construction workers, then clearly they're not doing it above board.
We're in uncharted territory because I've never heard of anything like this happening before.
Yeah, I wonder what the policy is.
So I don't know if anyone really truly knows the answer to this because nothing like this has ever happened before.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, listen, we're going to keep up to date on all of this. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Jadeite jewelry is exquisite and rare. It's made with exceptional quality. Jadeite pieces are beautiful as well as durable. The Etsy shop, Gransky Jewelry. That's Gransky, Jewellery. That's all one word on Etsy.com. Specializes in genuine, modern design diamond and jadeite jewelry. Gransky Jewelry on Etsy carry rings, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, and a whole lot more. Founded in 2017, Gransky Jewelry on Etsy is a contemporary jadeite and diamond jewelry house specializing in the sourcing of natural jadeite and diamond jewelry for everyone. Meticulous attention and care is given in sourcing of rare jadeite from Myanmar. Designing, processing, and embedding the jewelry ensures the exceptional quality of their pieces. Gransky Jewelry on Etsy draws inspiration from the fusion of Chinese and Western culture to create contemporary and exquisite fine jewelry, each featuring the brand's specialty, jadeite. All the items are 100% natural jadeite and 100% real diamonds, free from any chemicals or special treatments, and they have a 100% money-back guarantee. Visit their store right now on Etsy.com. Just search Gransky Jewelry. That's Gransky, Jewellery. Gransky Jewelry. That's all one word on Etsy.com.